What a blessed time to be following the Timberwolves. They get a 37-point win in Portland against the Trailblazers, who are now 15 and 39, and the Wolves, meanwhile, are 39 and 16. I've been a Wolves optimist for a long time. Back in the days when I was saying Kevin Love for MVP, I went back to the days of cheering on KG, where I just got fuzzy, warm memories of those days because I was such a youngin'. Got these statues to prove it. Well, one's a bobblehead, one's a Matryoshka doll. But, man, there's been a lot of dark days with this team. There's been decades between the good times, and we're in the good times. Cherish them. Don't miss out on them. Man, are we in them right now. And that's because step one, I mean, there's a lot of blessings that this team has, but number one, Anthony Edwards. That's a franchise-changing player right there, and he's got all of the goods. Yeah, he can take over. He just goes on these spurts of spectacle where he will dominate and score at will. You throw your best defender on him, Matisse Thybulle, he doesn't even see the guy. It doesn't matter one bit to Anthony Edwards what Matisse Thybulle, one of the best defenders in the NBA, is doing. He's just all in his head, toying with him, getting everything he wants. That first quarter, so Ant had 41 points against these Trailblazers, the last game that each of them played. So it's early in the game. He gets the ball in the post. He's posting up Anthony Simons, the beta Ant compared to alpha Ant. And you hear it picked up on the broadcast, help him. 3 Blazers players are leaving their guy to go help on Ant. They quadruple teamed him. I couldn't stop laughing at that start. And the Wolves punked this Blazers team in that first quarter. I called it abusive. It was 44-14. It's the most points we've scored in the first quarter, the least points we've given up in the first quarter. It was so insane. It kind of caught up to us, our dominance, because we were blocking shots viciously. Anthony Simons, especially, like I said, beta Ant in this game, he got blocked in like a 6-minute span by Anthony Edwards, then Gobert, and then Jaden McDaniels rips him and goes for a fast break where Simons just has to wrap him up. All types of offensive boards. And then, like those juices were flowing all the way through. They kept at it. Some crashes where you probably shouldn't be. Karl Anthony Towns had some where he's really selling out for boards that he maybe shouldn't have. And you're going for a lot of blocks. You're getting lots of fouls. And that's how the Blazers kind of crawled back into this game. But then we step on their throats again because Anthony Edwards, blessing number 1. Third quarter, 15 points out of that one. Just ripping these people apart in Rip City. The lead got down to 8 points, by the way, after leading by 30 in the first quarter. Gets down to 8 points. We have no momentum. And then Anthony Edwards just goes on a heater. We end up the third quarter by 23. Last possession, Ant has to get double teamed because he's already got 15 points in the quarter. We've got Cat at the top of the key. It was his man, I think, Duop Reith, that doubled. Cat gets the ball, pump fakes as the closeout is coming at him, able to drive that, gets a slam, and just such a dagger and deflator to this Blazers team that's got to go into the All-Star break. Like I talked about that first quarter, I had the tweet where it's like, the Wolves came in that first quarter like they wanted to prove that the Blazers don't belong in the NBA. It was so rude. Like, my eyes were wide watching most of that first quarter, and it's kind of like, should I look away? This beating is, it's a little unethical. It caught up to them, but then they picked it up in the third and fourth quarter where they'd end up winning by 37 still. So it was vicious. But I wanted to talk about some things with Ant that I don't always, that he's also just an amazing teammate. He says he wants Cat to be MVP. That was his goal going into the year. He wants Cat MVP. Who's the defensive player of the year? It's probably Rudy Gobert or Jaden McDaniels. Like, how he supports his teammates and the energy and cheering that you hear from him on the bench, too, and on the court. Like, he is so supportive, and that's an amazing thing out of your leader. Oh, yeah. And who isn't going to want to play with this guy? We can actually get free agents probably coming to Minnesota when he stays put. And hey, it's also on us. Appreciate this man. See him as the blessing that he is. Like, these players don't come around all that often. We had KG. No one has been at his level until Ant, and I don't want to disrespect Karl Anthony Towns here. He's great, but he's not that. Let's maybe talk about some other notes on this game now. How many do I even have? It's hard to remember. Jaden McDaniels gets a lot of throwdowns in this one. I love when he gets to the rim and explodes and attacks. And he was even passing up a lot of threes, which I don't love. I wish he would take the open ones. But I'd maybe even prioritize, hey, attack the rim, use your athleticism. You jump over like everybody. It's also a wonder to see. Jaden is spectacular too. He's got a little bit of growth still to go, but I'm really happy to have him. Gobert has improved so much from last season. I need to rescind some thoughts of Tim Conley here at some point for sure. I'm going to maybe wait to do something grand about that until we see some playoff success. But, man, he had the vision. It's working out, and I was very wrong at cursing him for a long time. Monte Morris, recent addition for the Wolves. It's his third game with us. Scoring perked up in this one. I introduced him as a mid-range killer, and you saw some of that. He had a floater, just some tough pull-ups that he gets into so smoothly from the mid-range. Still 1 of 4 from 3. That's not his strength, but he knocked down the one that was really open. The other ones didn't go, but Monte can give us a scoring punch. It's just, you would have liked a little bit more three-point shooting out of that acquisition, but it's okay. Monte still might perk up. It's only his 9th game of the NBA season, I believe, and he still looked pretty fluid, pretty smooth, looked like old Monte there, which is a good sign. 39-16 going into the All-Star break. Who would have thunk? I was high on the Wolves. I'm like, maybe like 5 seed, 6 seed, I think is what my prediction was. And that was a lot more ambitious than most people thought. Man, I did not see this coming. Thank you, Anthony Edwards. Let's keep it rolling. People watch this man, appreciate this man. He is going to continue to elevate. KG said 84 Jordan. Man, I agree with him. And there's that Last Dance quote where Jordan's talked about he wants to play as if there's someone in that arena that's never seen him play before. And he's going to give him a show. Show him who he is. I feel like Ant's got that in him. And he's got all the right stuff fueling his mind. Stand-up kid. Last thing I want to say, his smile. Like, I watch the games with my dad sometimes. Most of the time, he's falling asleep in these games. But he'll see Anthony Edwards, and he's like, man, I just love his smile. How can you not enjoy that? And bringing that to a team, to a state, blessed.